Welcome. This is Ben from Connecticut Local, and today we're here with Sam. He's the owner of Ironclad Property Management. Sam works to help each client improve their investment rate of return by renting high, renting fast, and renting well. Sam, thank you for taking time out of your day to speak with us. Maybe tell us a little bit about your business and your background and how you're helping our local community here.
Great. Thank you, Ben. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Mhm.
So got an early start in real estate. My dad purchased a bunch of properties when I was a boy. And so I saw it my entire life. I saw that he was able to have people put into homes and really love it. We had a very interesting thing where a property that we owned adjacent to the house that we lived in, about 5 or 6 tenants came and went. But each time they left because they had a baby and wanted to have a bigger house. And that really brought a lot of warmth to my heart, because they were really making it into a home. And only when the property was no longer big enough to support them and their growing family did they move out. And so it was a very interesting thing that happened. But I always got the bug for home ownership. Started buying real estate back in 2012 after the dip. And then basically from there, eventually quit my job as an engineer and started a property management company in 2018. So I've been involved with real estate my entire life. I'm an investor myself. And I just really love and passionate about trying to put people into good homes and have them have a fantastic place to live.
Mm-hmm. And when did you start then? What year?
So I started buying real estate back in 2012, but I started the property management company, Ironclad Property Management, in 2018.
Okay. And what areas do you serve?
We serve the entire portion of Central Connecticut, as far north as West Hartford, Manchester, and East Hartford. To the east, we are a little bit over the river in East Hartford, Manchester, Glastonbury, and Portland. To the south, we go North Haven, Hamden areas. And to the west, we're in Bristol, Farmington, places like that. So it's about a 30-minute drive from our headquarters in Meriden, Connecticut.
Okay, yeah, so, okay, awesome. And so you already told me what made you start this business, but is there what is it that made you want to start this business? Like the main reason that you love doing this and not, let's say, something else?
Well, I was very dissatisfied in my job in engineering, and I was always passionate about real estate. My entire life, since early 2000s, I was really into real estate and extremely passionate about it. So I know I wanted to do something in real estate. My brother Luke also owns a property management company. He's another small business owner out of North Haven. And so he was making a decision to not focus as much on investors. I'm a very passionate investor, and investors, when I speak, investors are who I like to talk to and communicate with. And so it was a very logical progression that I would focus property management on investors, while he was more focusing on owners of single family homes, things like that.
Okay, yeah. And what have been some of your biggest challenges along your entrepreneurial journey, and what lessons did you learn from them since 2012?
So I would say that I didn't learn a lot prior to starting the company that much in real estate. My brother was managing the properties, so there weren't that many headaches. But when I started the company, one of the first things I did was hiring good employees. It's extremely difficult.
Yeah.
What's interesting about property management is there's, as an industry, there's a lot of turnover. And the reason why there's a lot of turnover is it's a thankless job. You get 100, you didn't do your job right for every one thank you that you get. Even today, we're dealing with no heat situations, and people are very angry about that. We're dealing with an oil tank whistle that won't work, and so the oil company will not deliver oil. I've got a waste pipe that cracked and is now leaking, waste. And so all of these happen, and people want it done right away, when we have vendors that also have family and other commitments. And so they necessarily can't do the job fast enough to make people happy. So in property management, there's a lot of people that are unhappy all the time, telling you they're unhappy, telling you how terrible of a person you are. And for those reasons, a lot of people will sometimes turn over just naturally, because of the fact that it's a difficult job and it can be very demoralizing.
Okay. Yeah. So that's actually a thing then, that many of those business own. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by my phone. I should have turned it off.
Ben, that's the thing. I took my phone off the hook before this phone call just to make sure that I didn't have that happen on my side. So
Yeah.
you'll have to remember to do that in the future.
All right, but let's continue. So if you had to start over from day one, what would you have done differently?
So what I told you yesterday, and I believe wholeheartedly, I would have started earlier. I think that's really something that it's very difficult. They talk about how businesses fail in the first 2 years. Well, I'm almost into year 4. And once you get over that hump where you're into years 3 and 4, some of all of the momentum that you've put in, all of the marketing spend, the marketing time, the nurturing, the networking really starts to propel you forward. And then you can actually do very well. So this year alone, our company is doing very well. And I'm now finally making more money than I did prior to quitting my job as an engineer.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. And so that's one of the big achievements that I was really focusing on, because if you're quitting a job to start a company, you really can define your success when you have finally started making as much money as you did in the previous job.
Yeah, that's like when you literally killed your job and you're able to provide for yourself, and that's a big milestone in your life and career, right?
Correct. And so had I, if I were to look at myself, like I haven't been fulfilled in engineering for quite a long time. And so I think that had I started earlier, I probably would be even more successful and happy than I was back in those days. So.
Yeah, but luckily, like, we're here right now, and from now on, you can do the things differently that you had done differently if you were to start earlier, right? But today is now, and now you're ready to move your business forward.
Correct.
So the next question is, and this is a very general question, what is the toughest part about having a business during COVID and moving forward? And how has it impacted your business?
I think the biggest issue with respect to any adversity that you have is the uncertainty that comes with it. So in my case, I was, for the first time in my life, I would say that I should have been medicated for depression and anxiety. Back in March of 2020, when COVID was going on, 30 to 40% of the entire country was without a job. And so much of my livelihood is people's ability to pay rent. And if they can't pay rent because they don't have a job, it becomes extremely difficult to believe that you're going to be able to overcome it. And so for me, it was extremely stressful. And every day there was, okay, we're changing cleaning requirements. We're gonna try to figure out things to make sure that people are still having properties that can be maintained by vendors, trying to make sure that the property is being maintained well by the tenants themselves. So we've done things where we've partnered with technologies to be able to do self-inspections and to teach and coach vendors on cleanliness standards. We do a lot of remote communications with Zoom and a lot of things like that, because you can actually, as a property manager, you can actually work remotely some of the time. And so we wanted to encourage that as kind of a new normal, but also having the culture and the people coming in and the camaraderie is also still very important for us here as we work as well.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that it's been a challenge, and it's been for most businesses, right? And hopefully in the future it's going to be better. I think it's going to be better. I'm pretty confident. So then, if a customer was to choose between your business and 3 others just like it, why would you suggest they at least give you a try first instead of the other 3? What makes you different or unique?
So I guess our unique proposition is that we like to be the most responsive and proactive property management company. So, and with that said, I'm really focusing on people that are investors, because I want to help them do this better for long periods of time. So I do a lot of coaching and networking of investors. A lot of people think property management's a commodity, that anyone can do it. There's a lot of things that we do to try to separate ourselves. We consider property management very holistically. And that includes how we talk with our owners, our vendors, our tenants, how we try to respond to them when issues arise, being firm but fair, and also providing timely information to owners so that they can make the best decision for themselves. So we do inspections so that we can make sure that the toilets are not running, that there's no lease violations from the tenant, that they're not a hoarder and starting to accumulate more possessions in it, because all of that will have significant adverse consequences over long periods of time. And then we do lease renewals so that we can ensure that the property is occupied over all periods of time. And we especially want to make sure that we're not having vacancy in winter times. So we think about property management very holistically and trying to make sure that we're able to control to the best of our ability the outcomes, because that allows us to be able to give a more predictable response to our owners.
Okay, yeah, that's really awesome. I think that's really valuable for everyone, every owner of it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so this is the last, but not least, this is the last question, and this is for the future. If you had to look 6 months to a year into the future, where would you like to see your business be?
So we always set very long-term goals because we want to try to achieve them, and they say that it's not about the goal, but it's the plan to get there, right? So
or the process
about doing it in the process. So for the past few years, I've said I want to get to a certain unit count, 350 units under management. We're currently at a little over 280 units under management. So that was always the long-term goal, was to get to 350 by the end of the year. That was my goal. It was 300 by the end of 2020. Then it was 350 by the end of 2021. We've lost a lot of units because, as we all know in this market, anyone that puts up a property can pretty much sell it. And so we've lost about 100 units due to sales. We've grown about 140 or so units by either acquisitions from us or investors, or finding new people that want us to manage on their behalf. And so I'd say the goal for the end of the year, or 6 to 12 months, is to get again to 350 units. I think when we do that, we'll probably have to hire at least one more full-time property manager. I'm always considering hiring a business development manager or someone else to help me with the sales and marketing side. And also possibly hire some more administrative assistant people that can help in other ways as well. So I'm looking to hire 1 or 2 more people and grow, maybe 20 or 30% more in the next coming 6 to 12 months.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on the interview with us. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you soon.
Sounds good, Ben. I appreciate this.
Yeah. Bye-bye.